171.
Episode 171. That is Brad Fowler. He's the reason why we have a B on the BS show.
And the S is Sean
Wright. It's not what you think it is.
Right, Brad and Sean.
Brad and Sean. So today we're going to do a little bit something different with the BS show today. Since it is September 11th, it's the first time we've had September 11th fall on a BS show episode.
Yeah.
So today what we want to do is kind of remember September 11th, remember those that are watching, tell us where you were, what you remember doing that day. Have you done the stuff on the anniversaries, like listen to the bells and the things like that? So we, where the BS show is usually very uplifting and funny, this one probably will not be.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Thinking about the whole day and all that, man, it brings tears to a glass eye.
I'll tell you what.
It's emotional.
This year has been more emotional for me than any other year.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I'm fighting back tears most of the morning, thinking about different stuff, watching the two Bush speeches, the one from the day of September 11th and the one from the Trade Center. The people that you'll hear all of us soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Listen to the Toby Keith, courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue song.
Yeah. The Alan Jackson.
Yeah, Alan Jackson.
Yeah, it's an emotional time, man. It's a big deal. So you were there last year in New York.
I was there
on September 11th.
And I've been in New York City prior too. So usually when you go to New York City, it's very like energetic. I mean, you can like feel the energy in the air and very moving and powerful and things like that. And I'll tell you what, walking out of my hotel room last year, walking onto the street, I can't even describe the air was stale. It was like the whole city you could tell was mourning. It wasn't the city you normally feel. It was still just very almost spooky,
somber. Yeah.
Somber, yes.
Yeah. Wow.
So going back 19 years, do you remember where you were when all that stuff happened?
Oh, vividly, yeah. Well, I worked in cold storage for several years. I was going to say 9 to 5 job, but it was more of a 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. job. But, yeah, it was, early. We started at 6 in the morning, so our first break was around 8:30. So the action had started. And, some people go to their car over break. And, people were coming in, hey, come out, and, people running out to their car and stuff. And then, of course, we had to get back to work. And there was somebody trying to keep us updated, and but it was just a huge.
Did y'all end up getting off of work later in the day?
No, a couple people left. We'd actually had a couple of people in guard and reserve, and they expected. I know one guy did get a call, but yeah, it was just such a weird. What do you do? It's a helpless feeling because one, we've never been through that, not in our lifetime, and two, you want to do something, but what could you do? What's next? So many feelings that ran through your mind. I had 2 young children then, 4 and 2, 3 and 1, somewhere in there. So very young children, and it was very tough. Like I say, you hadn't been through it yet. There's no rule book on how to react to that. And the whole day, and of course the week after that, a lot of good old boys wanting to get on a plane and go over there and take care of business, but that's kind of a way of coping with it, it's how I would handle it, what I would do, what he should do, but the American pride that was felt.
I think that's a very key thing.
Yeah.
If you can remember how everyone in America was September 12th, 2001. Yeah. And that lasted all the way till probably the presidential election of 2004.
Oh
yeah. I mean, everybody was just united. There were no enemies. There were no political sides. It was everybody was an American.
Right. I mean, that part was awesome.
Awesome.
I mean, like never before it was united.
Yeah.
I mean,
and the amount of American flags everywhere. I mean, it is amazing.
Like all political parties, all races, all nationality, everything was together. So it is possible. We don't need
I don't want to get anywhere near all this, but just think about in 19 short years where we were September 12th to where we are now, where nobody can even seem to talk to each other.
Oh, yeah.
Families are getting torn apart on Facebook over politics. So just think back how
little the stuff you're arguing over now,
matters.
how mundane that crap is, you know.
Yeah. So I was actually in a history class at MTSU in the State Farm Room of the BEAS. So it's like the biggest class. It's like an auditorium classroom.
Okay.
And I was 20 years old. And you figure when something like that happens when you're 20 years old, and everybody around you is 20 years old, when you talk about everybody wanting to go on a plane and go jump over,
Oh, yeah.
a lot of my cohorts, I couldn't join. I have a medical condition. I tried, actually. A lot of my cohorts, I mean, they went to the line, and you would go by the recruiting centers, and how you doing? You would go through the recruiting
Special
centers.
guest.
Yeah, special guest. You'd go through the recruiting centers. There'd be lines and lines and lines of people
Oh, yeah.
just waiting to get on the plane.
Yeah.
And I remember I had a cell phone. It was a blue Nokia. I even remember the phone. And my mom called me like 3 times. And I'm in class. You know I was in class.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got up, I walked out, and she goes, the World Trade Center's been attacked.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time I actually got out of class and called her back, 2 planes had hit.
Yeah.
I walked to the LRC at MTSU, and I pretty much, they had pushed you remember the TV? They'd pushed,
Strap over.
Yeah, strap over the TV. They'd pushed that card out into the hallway.
Yeah.
I walked to the LRC at MTSU, and I pretty much, they had pushed you remember the TVs with the carts?
Yeah. Oh,
They'd pushed,
strap over.
Yeah, strap over the TV. They'd pushed that card out into the hallway, and that's pretty much where I sat
Yeah.
the rest of the day.
Mm-hmm.
My wife, who was then my girlfriend, I called her and said, "Look,
Hopefully nothing will ever go through again.
No.
And, you know.
And I was thinking back to this earlier. It was wild.
Yeah.
You're okay over there.
Hopefully nothing will ever go through again.
No.
And, you know.
And I was thinking back to this earlier. My generation, when we were in kindergarten, we watched the Challenger explode.
Mm.
And when we're freshmen, sophomore in colleges, we watched that.
Right. The teacher I was with, the class, you know, I had a teacher on board school. My, not to change the subject, but the teacher I was with, the class, you know, I had a teacher on board.
Yeah.
And she was, it just mesmerized her. She was such a fan of what was going on. And she talked about it up to the event, and once, you know, we're watching it and that happens, you know, and the whole class is like, what, you know, just kind of looking around. And she actually, after a few minutes, once you realize what truly happened, she just turns the TV off.
Walks out of the room.
Yeah, or tells us to open up a book, start reading, and walks out. We're like, what's going on? Like,
where'd the teacher go?
We were completely confused. It hit her pretty hard.
Did y'all watch the Reagan speech the next
1800s?
Yeah, that's a long time ago. So we got several people watching.
Yeah, thanks for watching, guys.
If you're watching, write down where were you? Where do you remember anything?
What sticks out?
What sticks out? I know this just because I've got a 10-year-old, 9-year-old, and they don't really teach anything about September 11th in school.
Yeah, they're not enough to.
It's like just a passing glance.
Yeah.
Of, this happened.
Yeah.
I read with all these people distance learning now. I was reading a post on Facebook this morning, and it was a person about my age, a veteran, went to Iraq and Afghanistan, and he's got kids that are distance learning, and he goes, all right, this is the 1 year that we're in control of all the distance learning stuff, and let's go turn on the news or the History Channel, and let's actually teach our kids about September 11th today instead of what's going on. Since the schools don't do an adequate job about covering it, let's cover it at home.
Yeah.
We're in and I thought that was pretty poignant because even talking to my 9-year-old or 14-year-old, they don't really know what happened except for what I've told them.
Right. Yeah, and one just joined in, Alan Wessels. He's a veteran and a retired firefighter.
Well, thank you for your service for both things.
Yeah. So I'm sure this day is very, very significant to him. Alan, what are your memories on 9/11, or what sticks out on you when that happened? Let us know.
Guys, I've gotten to learn a lot about what firemen do that people have no idea what firemen do. I mean, active shooter situations, medical calls, doing fire stuff is just such a minute part of what they do. People have been policemen, first responders, EMS people. Y'all don't understand the level of what these guys do on a whole scene.
And they see people at their worst.
Yeah.
All
day long.
So
I mean, the things that these people see and respond to, whether a car wreck where somebody's mangled, an active shooter situation. Think about how that hurts your psyche. Just that stuff sticks with people.
Oh, yeah.
And I know a lot of veterans who came back from war, seeing all that stuff in war, and then come back and be a policeman or a fireman or an EMS. They just have that given heart, and they just do it all for your freedom, our freedom.
Yeah. Can't say enough about that.
Can't say enough about it. You got a comment?
Nothing yet.
Well, Courtney, do you remember where you were? You're quite a bit younger than us.
I was at school in 2nd grade.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. She's quite a bit younger than us. Did y'all watch all this stuff on TV at all?
Nope.
Did they stop? They didn't stop school or anything or talk about it. You remember?
I know they didn't stop it. I don't even remember if they talked about it. I remember going home though, and my mom being.
Yeah. I mean, at a school, especially with elementary age kids, what do you do? Because they're not going to understand. Parents probably have their own way they would want to talk about it. So that might have been the best way to handle it. I don't know, but I don't know. It's wild, man.
Yeah. So
2nd grade. Come on, man.
Don't be mad.
So that's all we really wanted to do at the BS show. We got a lot of plans for the BS show going forward. We had to take a break, not only because of me campaigning. Brad got busy doing actual work. So we're going to get back to it. We'll be back at it regularly going forward. There may be some slight scheduling changes. We know we want to get a lot more people. We've always done good about having guest appearances and going to the local businesses, stuff like that. We want to add more of that in.
Yeah.
So basically what we're trying to set up to do is to do one normal BS show and one local business show a week, if we can do that.
Something like that, yeah. And speaking of coming soon, we got 2 in Christiana, both 3-bed, 2-bath.
Oh, that's good, Brian.
Price range of $230 to $270, like one $230, one $270 ish. So they'll be hitting the market. One hits it next Monday. I'll have pictures and media on that, and then the second one should be a couple of weeks after that. So if you're looking for a good brick house, nice neighborhood.
You should have said that with a very Lionel Richie flavor. You missed a perfect opportunity.
I can't duplicate that voice.
Brick. All right, but until Monday, this is the BS show. Brad B, Sean S. If you're watching this not live, let us know where you were on September 11th, 2001. Let us know what you remember about the time frame. Do you do the remembrances every year? Do you watch the specials on the TV? I watched a clip on Facebook earlier that I'd never seen before, and it was all dispatch calls. And it was there were dispatch calls and actual voice recordings from people on United 93. And
I may have heard that before.
I posted on Facebook today. So, like I said, I don't know if it's where I was in New York last year and felt that ambiance or whatever, but this one's hit me a lot harder this year in year 19 than it has in probably 15 years.
Yeah.
I mean, those first couple, it's pretty raw.
Yeah.
But say thank you to a fireman or police officer